Welcome to Lighten Up, the art of living clutter-free, the podcast where we tackle the literal and figurative clutter standing between you and your healthiest and happiest life. I'm Melanie, your host, coach, and guide on this journey to help you design a life that you love. Whether it's clearing out your kitchen cabinets, untangling your digital files, or letting go of the mental blocks that hold you back, we're here to make space for what truly matters. Let's lighten up together, starting now. Okay, today's episode may be one you've been waiting for. We are going to talk about what the weight-clutter connection is, so we can really talk about lightening up and the art of living clutter-free. So we're going to explore how clutter impacts your health, how it affects your stress levels, and how it affects your overall well-being, which means we'll talk a little bit about how it affects weight. So we're going to touch on lots of spaces. We're going to touch on the kitchen, the bedroom, our workspace, and well, let's just dive in. So first, the impact of stress on our health, wellness, and eating. Stress is our body's silent saboteur. Stress does a lot more than making you feel frazzled. It raises cortisol levels, which can lead to weight gain, especially around the belly. Stress also drives us to seek comfort. We deserve comfort when stress is affecting us. It's just that a lot of us reach for things like food and drink when we're looking for comfort. Like, have you ever found yourself reaching for chips or cookies or something else that might not be in line with our values and goals when it comes to our weight at the end of a tough day? Because I sure have in my past. And maybe to seek comfort, you do things like turning to binge watching TV shows or scrolling endlessly on your phone, shopping online, or even distracting yourself by overworking. Because these behaviors can offer temporary relief. It's why we go to them. It's because we know that they're going to offer us relief, but often leave us feeling even more overwhelmed and upset. And guess what? You are not alone. So here's the kicker. Clutter can amplify that stress. It could make it even worse. So a cluttered space signals your brain that things are out of control, adding to feelings of overwhelm. And it becomes this very vicious cycle. Clutter leads to stress, stress leads to clutter, clutter leads to more stress leads to more clutter, and all of it can lead to unhealthy habits in our lives. So what's the takeaway? Tackling physical clutter can be a surprisingly and effective way to manage stress and regain control over our eating habits. So remember, removing any kind of clutter, and we're going to talk about lots of kinds of clutter in today's episode. So removing any of these kinds of clutter needs to be tackled one ridiculously simple step at a time. And if you've listened to previous episodes, you know that that is one of my favorite catchphrases. To learn more about how to remove clutter in a meaningful and very realistic way, like any clutter, Design Your Healthy Life Strategy program has all the tips and tools and strategies to help you do that. So, okay, second, the cluttered kitchen conundrum. Have you ever stood in a cluttered kitchen? Doesn't matter whether it's super cluttered or just a little cluttered. Have you ever stood in that kitchen and thought, forget about cooking, I'll just order in? A cluttered kitchen creates decision-making fatigue. And we are definitely going to spend a whole episode talking about decision-making fatigue. And then this can discourage us from meal prep. It's harder to make healthy choices when you can't even find a clear countertop or the tools that you need. When your kitchen is organized, it becomes a space for nourishment. You're more likely to prepare wholesome meals and less likely to resort to convenience foods. I mean, think about it. If your fridge is packed with expired food that perhaps was bought with the best intentions, but if it's filled with foods that you can't have, how can you set yourself up for success? So I have a pro tip. You might not be surprised by hearing this, but start small. Clear one countertop or even just a portion of one countertop. Organize a single drawer or even a portion of that drawer. Removing clutter one ridiculously simple step at a time is key to building lasting habits. And we are going to discuss much more detailed strategies in future episodes for clearing the clutter in your kitchen. And if you know me, you know that I can help one-on-one when it comes to giving yourself that immediate sense of accomplishment that can snowball into other very healthy habits. Okay, 3, the bedroom and the sleep connection. The bedroom is supposed to be our sanctuary for rest and recovery. Well, it should be. And if your bedroom is cluttered with laundry or papers or random items that don't even belong in the bedroom, it is no wonder why your sleep is suffering. Cluttered spaces can increase anxiety, and anxiety can make it harder to fall asleep or harder to stay asleep because so many of us are getting up in the middle of the night for a gazillion different reasons. Mine is always because I got to go to the bathroom, a woman in her 50s. But the reality is that poor sleep impacts every aspect of our health, from our mood to our metabolism. And when we're tired, our willpower weakens. You know what? We're going to spend a whole episode on the fact that I don't necessarily believe in willpower. But if we're trying to harness willpower, it's going to be harder to do when we're not well rested. And this makes it harder to resist unhealthy foods. And it can often lead to being too tired to exercise and leaves us less productive in our daily tasks. So, my tip: create a clutter-free sleep zone. Like, even make your bed every morning and remove non-essential items from your nightstand. A calm bedroom fosters restful sleep, which is the foundation for healthy living. Okay, number 4, the messy office and productivity. So, whether your office is at home or if it's on site, we've all tried to work at some point at a desk piled with some paper, empty coffee mugs, random junk, and all of that makes it really hard to focus. A messy workspace can stifle our creativity and our productivity. But there's more. When you're not productive at work, the stress can spill into your personal life. It's harder to prioritize self-care when you feel behind. And let's not forget, stress eating is real. And our work stress leading us to food, and food leading us to being more stressed or upset with us or whatever. And here we are in this like really awful vicious cycle. So the solution: declutter your desk at the end of each day. This might sound overwhelming, but if once you have cleared the desk, it will only take a few minutes at the end of each day to make sure that we haven't created piles. So, like setting an alarm on your calendar to remind you it's 5 minutes before it's time to leave. Finish what you're doing and then spend a couple minutes clearing the desk. Because even 5 minutes can make a huge difference in how you feel when you pick up your work again the next morning. So start small, step by step, And in the future, we're going to discuss the tools that you need to create sustainable change. And we do that in our weekly Design Your Healthy Life Strategy workshops too. I'd like to explore different forms of clutter because it comes in a lot of forms, and a lot of us don't even realize that they're creating clutter in our lives. So it's not just the stuff piling up in our living space. Each type of clutter affects our well-being in very unique ways, and they create barriers that prevent us from living the happy and healthy and fulfilling life that we really deserve. So we're going to briefly touch on multiple forms of clutter and set the stage for deeper dives in future episodes with special guest experts. So one, financial clutter. Financial clutter is more than overdue bills or messy filing systems for receipts. It's the mental weight of debt, confusing investments, or unaddressed financial fears. Getting clear on your finances is the first step towards financial freedom. And reminder, this is going to get its own episode, actually multiple episodes where we explore tools and tips and expert advice for decluttering your financial life. Okay, two, mental clutter. Mental clutter is all of those nagging thoughts and worries that keep you up at night. It's the to-do list in your head, the what ifs, the negative self-talk, the self-limiting beliefs. We have to clear this clutter because it means creating space for focus, for creativity, and for peace of mind. So I'm going to remind you, stay tuned for future episodes for actionable strategies for clearing all of that mental clutter. So three, emotional clutter. This is different than mental clutter, although emotional clutter can affect mental clutter, mental clutter can affect emotional clutter. And here we are in another cycle. But emotional clutter comes from things like unresolved feelings or unprocessed grief, previous traumas, holding on to the past hurts, and it impacts our relationships and our ability to move forward. So letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means making room for new emotional experiences. And there are so many techniques for this, and guest insights on emotional decluttering is coming in the future. Now there's calendar clutter. An overbooked schedule can leave you feeling overwhelmed and unproductive. And calendar clutter happens when we say yes to everything and fail to prioritize what really matters. And I, this is a serious thing, and I don't want anybody to feel judged because they're saying yes to everything, because there are a lot of reasons for that, a lot of really valid reasons for that. But simplifying our calendar can restore balance and can improve the quality of life. And we deserve a quality of life. Okay, number five, the 24-hour news cycle clutter. There are constant updates, breaking news alerts, and the 24-hour news cycle can create unnecessary stress and anxiety. Being informed is important, but being informed doesn't have to mean being overwhelmed. So we need to learn how to set boundaries and consume news in a more mindful way. Okay, six, social media clutter, which, affects the 24-hour news cycle. But social media clutter it gets so much deeper. There's endless scrolling, which leads to comparison traps, and they're the common side effect of social media clutter. It's easy to lose hours of your day or feelings of great inadequacy when we're faced with everyone else's highlight reels. Remember, not as everything is as it seems. So decluttering your digital life can help you regain control and find joy online. And this may include things like eliminating some of our social media accounts or maybe removing the apps from our phones. Uh, like we need to treat ourselves like we treat our kids. And I know our kids have way too much access to social media, and it affects us in very deep ways. Okay, there's number 7 is people clutter. People clutter refers to the relationships that drain your energy or bring negativity into your life. We need to set boundaries and surround ourselves with people who are supportive. Positive people can make a world of difference. But there are a lot of complexities when it comes to people clutter, and I'm not even sure that I feel 100% comfortable in discussing it. And that's why I'm going to bring in boundary experts, relationship experts, and the whole 9 yards. So, what's our takeaway from today? One, clutter isn't just about stuff, it's about the mental and emotional toll it takes on us. And it's not just about the weight or the stress, it is about creating a life that feels manageable and joyful. You deserve a joyful life. If any of these topics resonate with you, I would love for you to explore more with my free ebook. Declutter your mind, transform your body, kickstart your journey. It's packed with insights and actionable tips to help you connect the dots between your physical and your mental clutter and your overall wellness. You can download it from my website, melaniecohen.podia.com. And if you use the link that's in the show notes, you'll receive this resource for free on me. If you're ready to dive deeper, check out my Design Your Healthy Life Strategy program. Let's take this journey on together. Remember, small changes lead to big transformations. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free. I hope you found a spark of inspiration to help declutter not just your space, but your mind and life as well. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little lightness in their life. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Small steps lead to big changes, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. For more tips, resources, and ways to connect, check out my website, follow me on social media, and don't forget to check out the Design Your Healthy Life Strategy program to take your transformation even further. Until next time, keep letting go of what no longer serves you and making room for what truly lights you up.